Hello and welcome everybody to BBL Season 8. This is a game for Week 12. Technically it's still Week 11. In-game I'm playing just a little early, but that's fine. Playing as my team, the Super Duper Melonheads, who just got a big win in a very close matchup against the Hornets, where we ultimately won 25-23. So very close, but very big win. And so now, hopefully, the Melonheads are going to ride that wave of success to sweep the rest of the season. We're currently 6-5, with a very good shot, I think, of making the playoffs in the number 2 seed. So for this week, our opponent is the Little Giants, our division rivals. The Giants, unfortunately, have had a very bad season. SB had trouble last season, and he's continued to have trouble this season, unfortunately. The Giants are currently 0-10, very likely to be 0-11 when their result against the best-in-league Mariners is revealed this weekend. And they've had trouble scoring, and their AI defense has turned out to be really bad this season. They have the worst-performing AI defense in the American League. We played them at our home field of Tin Can Alley back in Week 2 and ultimately put up 38 runs against them. So we'll see how we can do here. I suspect this will be predicted as a landslide for the Melonheads. I certainly do think the Melonheads are going to win this game because as it turns out, the Giants just aren't very good. So hopefully this will be a easy win to add on as we go towards the end of the season and look for that playoff spot. So, not a lot of prelude for this one. Let's go ahead and dive into the game. Buffs. We have a big buff here, which you are going to have to wait just a moment to find out, as the game crashed on me again. I think my computer's due for a restart. The good news is I had already pre-rolled and saved the game, so the buff is, in fact, saved. Okay. Big buff for Shane Smith, buffed in all categories, in particular up to 8 batting and 10 running. He's essentially Barry Bonds-like. In fact, Giants have Barry Bonds. There's about a 0.2% chance that is correlated. Probably just coincidence. But anyway, that'll be a nice buff for Shane to beef this team up further. Everybody else is doing normally, no bad days, so all good in that regard. We'll put Shane in center this game as Phil goes back to second, playing away from the alley. And that's good. I could put Shane batting second instead of Sheila. I'm not sure, honestly, though, where the extra head would be more useful. So, I'll go ahead and keep it as is. Also, we're going to do an experiment this time. We're going to put Stan ahead of Heather. Normally, I like to have Heather batting just behind the faster players, so that there's less chance of a double play. We're going to risk this this time, though. Stan might do more good batting behind Jay and Shane, and then that leaves just Heather and then Phil at the bottom of the lineup to drive her in, and then Lindsay. So yeah, I think that's a good setup. As for the Giants, they are mostly normal. The exception is Alex Rodriguez is having a bad day at fielding, down to 5 fielding. Now, my last game against the Giants, A-Rod did a really bad job on the field. He was just dropping balls all over the place. So this might make it even worse at that, which would be all to the good. Might also be an arm nerf, which would also be significantly helpful for me. So anyway, the one really intimidating player on this defense is Barry Bonds behind the plate. That means I can't steal, but that's basically the only problem for now. Later on, he might come on to pitch where she'll do all sorts of weird things, including making catcher easy. Let's also have slow Ralph in right field. Ray in center might catch some balls, but any of that land is going to take him a while to get it in. Higginson's good, but then Baco, Hendricks, and Don Cozart for the rest of the infield. Not great. Earl Abbott, decent to start with pitching, but once I wear him down, he shouldn't be too much of a problem. So, anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. I do feel good about this game, so hopefully this is not the prelude to a big fall. Lindsay Felgate leading off, went 5 for 5 last week, continuing her likely MVP run. Swings at the first pitch she gets, goes straight to A-Rod, time to test out his arm. That is oof. Oof. That is a definite arm nerf for A-Rod for this game. So that is not good for the Giants, to put it lightly. Brings up Sheila Vasanti, also swings at the first pitch. I should stop doing this. Earl does catch it. Fortunately, he doesn't have a good arm, so Lindsay is easily able to double back, but wake up call. Don't swing on the first pitch of every at-bat. Neither of those pitches were great ones to swing at, I don't think. Worked out for Lindsay, not so much for Sheila, so let's stop wasting opportunities here. Let's actually tire this kid out. I say, and then swing at the first pitch. It did look like a good pitch. Dimitri fouls it off, though. 0-1 the count. That one's low. 1-1. I considered picking Earl Abbott during the draft. I wanted Luann Louie. Once she was taken by the meme team, the Tigers, I considered taking Dimitri instead. Not Dimitri. Earl instead to fill that slot. Ultimately, I decided against it. I went with Veronica Lee, who I later traded for Stan Olafson, and I do think that was the right choice for my defense. Especially since it means Jay Green now is starting pitcher instead of shortstop and relief pitcher. Potential fielder's choice situation there. Maybe if Ray threw it perfectly, he could have gotten Lindsay at second, but he flubs it instead. She's safe easily. 2 on, 1 out, and Fabian Callahan is a hitter. Swinging at the first pitch again, but that is sent deep to center. I am rewarded in this case. That's certainly going to be a couple RBIs and at least 2 bases. Oh! I didn't think it would make it over, but it did. Fabian busts one over the tall fence in center. Fabian flexing. Fabian has been back this season. She had trouble back in season 6 the last time I had her. I made the mistake of leaving her off the team last season, but she is back this season, baby. 446-footer, 3-run shot by Fabian Callahan, and it's now 3-0 Melonheads. Jay Green is up, and ooh, Jay Green is boosted apparently. It's not a visible stat boost, but yeah, somewhere there, one of his already good stats is now even better. That should be fun. Earl suddenly learning how to pitch, though. 2 strikes on Jay. He is able to put one up the middle, though. Easy single. We're going for the double. Ray, not a great arm out there. He was able to make it work on the junior athletics in right field. Here, for the Giants in center, it doesn't seem to be working so well. And Raphael, flubbing the throws. Man, so many noodle arms on this team. Mariana's isn't great. You have Ray, you have Raphael, you have Earl. A-Rod's arm is terrible today. This is just, ugh. I feel almost kind of dirty doing this. Shane Smith is a hitter now. He is boosted to 8 hitting and 10 running. So we'll see what he can do with it. Hits one into the ground. That's fine. Easy single. Bond's about to get it, and then Earl grabs it, so whatever. Jay probably could have gone to third, but yeah. So you have Robbie Vacco, you have Barry Bonds, and you have Bobby Higginson, and I think those are the only strong arms on this team today, so yeah. And then a couple of average ones like Don. Stan sends one towards short. A-Rod is there. He drops it. That feeling bad day coming into play here. Everybody is safe. Single by Stan. That wasn't even unexpected that time, honestly, because there is that fielding nerf for A-Rod. If he was at normal strength, then that would be like, wow, okay, that was lucky. But there, nah. So Heather Quinn, she had a not-so-good day yesterday, only 1 for 4. But see if she can come back here. Honestly, it's not going to be that hard for even Heather to get on base. Just got to get one through the gap and we're golden. Like that, maybe? Yep, gets past A-Rod. Oh, except Higginson's got it. Uh-oh. And thank goodness for that A-Rod nerf, because otherwise that would have been a double play. As it is, Heather is safe at first. 1 out, but another run scores. It's now 4-0 Melonheads. Phil Nevin, don't look now, but Phil is just busting it out here in the second half of the season, almost at 700 batting average. He was doing kind of okay and so-so early in the season, but in the second half, he's been cranking it out. I think he's going to be a decent shot for Batter of the Week for Week 10 after he went 4 for 4. Week 11, after he went 4 for 4, home run, 2 doubles. Bunch of RBIs and a big fat whiff on that pitch. 0-2 on Phil. Also, note that Barry Evans just flubbed that throw to second for Heather. Let her steal second when she had no business doing that. Phil hits one up towards A-Rod. He fumbles it. Nothing throw. Easy score for Shane. It is 5-0 Melonheads. And still the first inning. Earl's only thrown 19 pitches, actually, though. Barely two per batter. And that brings on Mariana Ralph. Actually, a solid pitching change for the Giants' defense. Because that puts Earl in right field. I don't think he's super tired out, honestly. In another inning or two, he's going to be full strength, so they will have speed there. Now, it'll take him forever to get the ball back in, but that could actually be pretty good. Lindsay with a very high ball. That's going to right. I think it's off the fence. Yes, just barely off the fence. And fumbled by Ray. Earl's got it. Raphael's coming to get it in. Ooh, this is ugly. Heather has scored. Phil coming across. This would be scary if A-Rod wasn't nerfed, but he's not. Inside the park home run by Lindsay. 3 more runs. It's 8-0 Melonheads. And my goodness, I'm not sure I've ever had a more dominant showing coming out of the gates here. I think I could have gotten 50 against the Giants in week 2. I got distracted and stupidly struck out with Sheila to end the game. But maybe this is the game where I get the 50. Raphael gets it, but not quite in the air. Has to jump on it. Almost the third out, but not quite. And I tell you, this is like what it usually feels like in the 5th or 6th inning of a big game of mine. And it's only the first inning, so I don't know. Now, knowing how my games go, I might also start just hitting like nothing balls and balls straight to fielders in like every inning after this and end with like just 12 runs or something. But we'll see. This is something. I feel kind of bad for Silver Bullet when he sees whatever the result of this ends up being. It's not going to be fun. Two and 1 the count on Dimitri. And busts one down the left field line. That'll be another easy single. Higginson gets it. A-Rod is nerfed for this game. He has a fielding nerf that has made him more likely to drop the ball and have a much worse arm. So, yeah. Fabian is now up. She hit one over the fence earlier in the first. We'll see if she can get another big shot here, or if the game will finally, the inning, excuse me, will finally come to an end. Mariana having some trouble pitching well here. The Fabian does drive in a couple more runs, and the Giants will be to their 3rd pitcher of the game already, so there's that. And, ooh, swing and a miss. That was a nice corner pitch by Mariana. Excellent pitch there. It gets Fabian, and that is it for the first inning. Melonheads came out in a big way to start the game. It is 8-0. I'm just hoping I don't use up all the Melonheads scoring power here and then manage to falter in the last 2 games of the season. They are both Tin Can Alley games against my division rivals, the Twins and the Rays, not the most turbocharged offenses. Not the best defenses. I should be able to win both of those games without too much trouble. But we'll see. I think my last truly dangerous game was a Hornets last week. And I just barely won that one. Earl grounds out. So 1 out. A-Rod the hitter. I only have 2 of them Nate-tastic. I don't have Leo Wayne or Henri. But honestly, the big 4 players I have been pretty underwhelming. Jay has done solidly. Don't get me wrong; he's batting over 700, but that's a lot of like ground ball singles for him. Not nearly as many big hits as I was expecting. Julie Dunkel on my other team has been good here in the second half of the season, but the first half she was not getting anything done. So they've been underwhelming. And I think I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Lindsay Felgate has been the true star for me this season. She has been amazing, and I think she is a legitimate MVP candidate this season. Anyway, Raphael Hendricks is up with one on. This is actually some danger here. He could bust one over the fence. He does not. Phil catches it. A-Rod trips. And as if this wasn't already bad enough, now we have power-ups on our side. So, yeah. A-Rod is having a very bad day. Alright. Just a screaming line drive, though. I still haven't gotten as much as an undergrounder but in these games, but, you know, whatever. I'm in no position to complain this game. Jay Green leading off the second. Hit a double in the first. And Mariana, ooh. I think that should have been called a strike, honestly. She's suddenly gotten good at pitching. I'm not sure how long it'll last for. It won't be enough to stem the tide. I get the feeling. 1-2 on Jay. Goes to line drive and immediately hits a beautiful wind into left. Even rolls past Higginson. Now that is Bobby Higginson getting it. One of the few Giants with a good arm this game. Threw A-Rod as a cutoff, so could have made it to second easily, it turns out. But I had no way of knowing he would do that. And he might have thrown to second if there was a play there. Alright, one on, nobody out, and Shane Smith the hitter. Again, playing with a hitting and running boost here. And uses that to put one into shallow left center. Ray's coming up. Just barely misses it and then drops it. Might have had to play at second if he'd caught it on the bounce, but he does not. And Ray is no one to throw to, so Jay's just going to take that third base. Thank you very much. This is an easy defense to get extra bases off of, especially with the A-Rod nerf. I'm definitely taking advantage of that here. Stan Olafson, the hitter now. That's a foul ball. Two on, nobody out. Heather Quinn is on deck and has a screaming line drive to play around with. And no Frank Thomas to absorb it this time. Ooh, grounds one straight to third. Ooh, but Robbie takes long enough to throw it and doesn't laser it. That Shane boost is enough to get him there. The Shane good day and the A-Rod bad day, both. Definitely making a difference in this game and making it that much worse for the Giants. Heather Quinn now up, bases loaded, nobody out. Perfect time to bust out a screamer to deep center field. That was beautifully placed. It is going to take a long time for Ray to get that one in. Definitely 3 more runs here. Oh, okay. Heather's going to have to hold at second, unfortunately, as Bobby Higginson is on the case. Still, very easy 3-run double. Off that screaming line drive. It is now 11-0 Melonheads. Phil Nevin and Don't Look Now, but he's batting over 700. Closing in on Jay Green, honestly. Again, super hot back half of the season. The nice thing about Phil, too, is he's a solid contact hitter, and he has just enough speed that, yeah, a lot of the time power's the best option with him, but especially batting behind Heather. But if he has like 2 strikes, or that's just fast runners on or whatever, you can use line drive with him. And he's pretty good. Ooh, and also, Don't Look Now, but Barry Bonds on the mound means Mariana Ralph is now playing catcher. I don't think Heather can steal third off her, but we're going to start seeing some stolen bases here, I think. Whoa! Slow heat there from Barry completely throws off my timing with Phil. Now, the one danger here, Barry Bonds is like the one good fielder on the Giants. So, suddenly, on dinky little hits, I'm not looking so good. He's going to scoop those up. So, could be dangerous. He'll be more dangerous than he was at catcher. That's the one thing. If my opponent has one really strong fielder, like in this case, catcher's a pretty good place to have them. Because, yes, I can steal bases, but any ball I put in play, except for very few, they're just not going to be involved there. And Phil puts a perfect line drive to deep center. Again, Giants shifted, so it's taken a while for them to get there, and then it's Ray Tran with it. He's only going to throw the ball halfway in. And Bobby Higginson can cover and get the ball into the infield, but still, easy double for Phil. Heather scores. It is now 12-0. Lindsay Felgate, the hitter. Had an inside the park home run and a single, both in the first inning. I'm also playing a lot more fast and loose, I think, with swinging here. I'm swinging a lot more liberally than I normally would, just because of the low stakes, because I already know I have this game in the bag. There's not as much risk. It's not as bad if I get like one really nasty pop-up or even double play. So I can play fast and loose, and it's working out so far. Lindsay with another nice liner into the outfield. Triples there, bats in another run. Sheila Basanti is now up. And lines one towards first. It gets past Don. Does bounce, but dropped by Earl. Probably would have been safe anyway, because Earl doesn't have a good arm, but that seals the deal. RBI single for Sheila. The real question is, how many viewers am I going to have by the end of this, and how many people will have tuned out just out of boredom? The novelty's got to wear off at some point, right? And Mariana Ralph is not a good catcher. All right. As if this wasn't bad enough, now we're basically just going to be stealing a million bases. Got to do this earlier off of Ray for the Giants in Week 2, and then Amir for the Rangers in Week 3, but the Melonheads haven't done a lot of stealing during the season since then. And Dimitri pops one to left. That's going to be a home run, I think. Yep. Not the most impressive, as it disappears inside the fence before it spits it out back in the field, but still, a home run is a home run. It is now 16-0. Fabian Callahan is up. Has one of the only 3 outs for us this game, getting out to end of the first. And had a home run earlier that inning. Don Kozar comes in the mound. Barry Bonds at first is interesting. Has more potential to be bad for me than Barry Bonds at catcher did, honestly. Except now I can steal, of course. Anyway, yeah. I'm wondering if there's going to be a single Giants player that doesn't pitch this game. Probably Ray won't. Ray's probably tired out too much from all these big throws he can't make. But I think we might see, maybe not Raphael either. He's had a lot of those. And maybe not A-Rod. A-Rod and Raphael and Ray have all tried to make a lot of big throws that they can't make. But I'm sure we'll see Robbie and Bobby coming on to pitch. So at least 6 of this team's players are going to pitch this game. Fabian Mike could have gotten second base on that play, honestly. But played conservatively and held at first. So single for her, and Jay Green now the hitter. And there you go, baby. I hadn't had nearly as many of those this season as last season, but there is a Jay Green bomb. Big bomb by Jay. 18-0. Three at 7 feet. I already see I've lost several viewers here. I know how this is going to end. The only question is the exact number at the end. Shane Smith is now up. And that's going to bounce before it reaches Ray. And then Ray barely gets it. And it's to Ray and Raphael and A-Rod. Easy third base for Shane. Yeah, this is by far the most lopsided single game I have ever had in this league. I am going for 50. I have never gotten a 50 in a league game. This is my 6th season. We're nearing the end. I've had some good teams. I've had some big games. But never hit the 50 before, except in side games. So that's my goal. It's my first 50 here. It would also be the first 50 of the season. So there's that. And then if I get to 50, my goal is just highest score ever. Shoot for the moon with the record and see just how good of a mark I can get. I've lost another viewer, I see. Already down to just 5 people watching. Stan hits one into left. Ooh, that might be caught. Bobby's there. Bobby has it. Ring the alarm bells. Call the police. The Melonheads gotten out. So that was after 10 runs, I'll point out, was the first out. So, yeah. Maybe this is a turnaround for the Giants' defense. But in any case, with a plus 18 and the way the Giants have been struggling this season, this game is won. That much is clear, and I still have 14 outs to work with. Heather Quinn now the hitter. And nice one. Heather gonna have a much better game this game, I think, than she did last time. Ray trying to get it in, but that ball is in no man's land. Raphael coming to get it. Oof. Raphael's bad speed and getting tired out. Yeah, that's ugly. When even Heather Quinn can easily leg it out into a triple, that's when you know it's bad. Back to Phil, and I'm honestly not even going to be swinging for the fences very much anymore with most of these players. Maybe with Fabian. But other than that, I mean, I don't need to. Line drive's plenty enough to get a solid liner that bounces into the outfield, and, well, Barry's getting it. Even though just a solid line drive is enough to get into the outfield and get an easy base hit, probably multiple bases. So I don't think I'm... Maybe Jay, because you have to use power with Jay. And then Fabian, but other than that, I think everyone's just line drive for days now. And there you go. Nice swap by Lindsay there. Casually pokes it over the left field fence for a 2-run shot. Lindsay's cycle is very believable. Does she have a single yet, though? If she doesn't, then that might be trouble for that. There might come a point here where I just run out of things to say and I just stop talking and just have the rest of this video be just playing through the game. You shall see. Robbie Bacco now on the mound. I'm not sure how much damage, honestly, this is doing to the Giants' defense, having all these different pitchers come on. Because I'm not sure how many are actually pitching for long enough to get really tired out. The big thing is that there's a much weaker catcher now who I can steal on. And then as long as you still have Ray and Alex and Raphael still up the middle, then that's all you really need. This is just going to be rough. Maybe if Bobby can get good and tired, we'll go somewhere useless. But other than that, the damage has been done against this defense. Barry Bonds could have caught that one, but he stayed at first base, so yeah. Ooh, that's high pop-up. A-Rod's just sitting there watching as Bobby comes to get it. Yeah, but Bobby is basically doing every single defensive play at this point for the Giants. Like, nobody else except Bobby is doing anything. Even Barry Bonds isn't doing anything. Anyway, pop out by Dimitri. Yeah, no matter how bad the defense gets, eventually, you know, you're going to just get a pop-up or a line drive straight to a fielder, and they're actually not going to drop it. Or you're going to mess up and strike out or whatever. It can get to a point where it's really hard to turn it out, but eventually It is going to happen, and it is going to happen enough times to end the game. It's just a question of how long. And how much stat padding can the Melonheads get in before then? Batter of the Week for Week 11 may or may not come to the Melonheads. You can certainly bet that Batter of the Week for Week 12 is going to come to the Melonheads, and it's going to be something stupid. Now, okay, now here's the cycle we might get. Jay Green just needs a triple. Yeah, Fabian does have 100 power. She has the worst contact rating of any player with 100 power. But she does have the 100 power. I've had Fabian every season except one. She's arguably not a very good choice otherwise because she's super slow. And that can be a problem, especially on defense. Oof! And it's Jay Green, of all people, who turns the third out with a line drive to left. Once again, Bobby Higginson. And that's it. 16 runs in the second for the Melonheads. We are currently on pace to end this game with 72 runs. The high score is in the 80s, so gotta step my game up a bit here. Even Barry Bonds is a bit tired out here, you can tell. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, Fabian is very slow, which makes her a very questionable pick at best, I would say, but it is a lot of fun to hit home runs with her. And because she does have an arm. She has a decent arm. Not a great arm, but a decent arm. So I don't think she's one of the players who is a case of you don't pick this player if you want to win a championship. It's not like Angela Del Vecchio. I think if you want to win a championship, you do not pick Angela Del Vecchio. She's just too bad at defense. Fabian, I think, is a defensible choice, though. Anyway, side effect of all this offense is that there's not going to be probably a lot of threat by this Giants offense, I say, as Robbie nukes one. Goes off the fence, though. He barely even makes it to first. Oof, Shane cannot handle that one, though. Still, Robbie holding at first, so we have plenty of time to run it in, not use unnecessary stamina. Giants could still score a couple of runs on random nukes, but basically anything that's not a home run is no problem with this team. No chance for a double play here, as there's already 2 outs. Yeah, that one double play I did get was worst case scenario, a single screaming line drive, and that was it. And Bobby is out. Melonheads time again. Let's see how much we can do in the third. All I can say is I'm glad this is a league game and not a side game. If this was a side game, this would be so painstakingly boring and tedious. Since it's a league game and I have more of that target to hit and my player stats to really beef up, and since I'm doing this on stream and being able to chat about it and having a few people watching, that makes this bearable. Ooh. At the start of the game, that might have been out, but Ray's too tired. Shane has to content himself with a single for that at-bat. Stands up. But yeah, if this was just a random offline side game, this would be miserable. About 20 runs is usually when the game gets a bit boring. Because you're just doing too well and it's just too much of the same. And kind of the tension goes away. And it's just, it's tedious. But, again, we want to see just how, we're pushing the buttons to see how high up it can go here. Earl goes for the bounce. That's a big flaw with Earl Abbott as a fielder. He goes for the ball on the bounce, not for where it's going to land. Whether he's playing infield and fielding ground balls, or, like there, he's playing outfield, going for fly balls. Oof! Stan tagged out at third, just barely, as they throw through Robbie Bacco. I get too cocky, and it costs me. Even on a ground ball straight to shortstop, Heather can single here. A-Rod not having a good day. So, yeah, 1 out. Good news is the only real bad thing about that out is for going for the high score. Phil Nevin now up. I know I said I'm mostly using line drive, but with Heather on first, it would be nice to get that extra airtime. Yeah, that's not going to work. Oh, and Heather caught going back to first. Okay, I'm just getting too cocky here now. Had early success, started racking up the runs, and I got too comfy. That's 2 stupid base running outs in a row. Got to tighten up here if I want to hit 50. Robbie, though, having trouble hitting the strike zone. And with all the runs I put up, probably since he's come on the mound, I can't imagine he'll be on the mound for long. Much longer. Phil draws a walk. Lindsay Felgate needs a double for the cycle. Okay, she might could pull it off here. And this is a game where we, in particular, stat pad for the Lindsay MVP campaign. Already 4 for 4 with 12 total bases. And I'm not sure how many RBI. Lindsay was already having a fantastic season going into this game. And a situation like this, oof, unless I do that. That one was high, Lindsay chases it, and Lindsay Felgate, with the strikeout, that hurts. And so that's it for the third. Melonheads score 1 inning. That is how easy it is to just stop scoring if you're being careless. Because again, that wasn't, bad luck or anything like that. I wasn't hitting it to the wrong places or anything like that. All 3 of those outs could have been prevented easily. It was base running mistakes and swinging at a bad pitch, which I could have known would be high. But yeah, only 1 run in the third, so Melonheads only at 25 after 3 innings. Suddenly the 50's in a bit more doubt. And there we go, Dawn puts one in, fair territory, smacking it into center. Lands a bit low though, so that's only going to be a single for her. I've lost another viewer, down to 4. Thank you for the 4 people who have stuck with me so far. The 3 people who have stuck with me so far. I understand if you choose to leave. Mariana Ruff now on. 1 on, nobody out. Mariana with a sharp ground ball that takes a funky bounce, gets past Sheila. Giants offense putting together a surprisingly capable rally here. Sheila gonna throw it right away so that Stan can come pick it up. Mariana goes for second base, and she's gonna be caught between bases. This is gonna be an easy out. Out at first. No more double play chance, unfortunately. Only runner is at third. Earl Abbott now to hitter. That Lindsay strikeout is just, ugh. Like I said, I'm working on the Lindsay MVP campaign. Every out is unhelpful in the league where the really good players just do insanely good. Earl strikes out. Lindsay this season is the only player I've had that has been really close to really anywhere approaching an MVP campaign, honestly. I've never had another player this good. Even when I had Lindsay in Season 5, she wasn't this good. Never felt like I had a chance at winning MVP before the season. And A-Rod lays down the bunt. That should be an easy third out. Jay almost overthrows Heather there. She has to leap up to catch it, but she does get it. Third out, going into the 4th inning. Sheila Basanti leading off. As somehow it was Lindsay Felgate of all people who got the third out last week. Ugh. Alright, we need to average 9 runs per inning in order to hit the 50. Gets past Ray. Gonna be an easy double at least. Maybe triple. No, Ray gets a actually pretty good throw in there. Pretty good play from the Giants defense on that one. I still believe we can hit the 50 as well, especially since it's usually higher scoring in later innings. But scoring only 1 run in the third did put it in more doubt. And is that going to be... Dimitri has not had much in the way of homers this season, but to this game... Alright. Dimitri's home run music is pretty good. Alright, 2 more runs on there. We're more than halfway there now. And Fabian is a hitter. And finally, Robbie comes off the mound. Barry Bonds coming back on. That's interesting. I wonder where he'll go next. Moonshot by Fabian, but it goes foul. And Dawn Cozart coming back on. Okay, she was playing... I don't remember where she was playing. Third base, I think? Yeah. So that means Barry Bonds is at third now. That could be effective, actually. Question is Dawn going to stay on? And if not, who's going to replace her? Earl gets it and throws it into no man's land. Raphael coming up to get it. Honestly, though, even on something like that, I don't think Fabian can make it. She's just too slow. Jay's back up. Still needs a triple for the cycle. Probably not going to get it this at bat with Fabian out first. Okay, now I'm just getting careless. I should not have swung at that pitch. Never in a million years. Dawn running slowly, though. But even with all that, Fabian can't make it. 1 out. Again, I'm just playing carelessly at this point, and I need to stop that if I want 50. Shane now up, and Ray Tran coming on to pitch. Ooh, interesting. I'm not sure how different it's going to be having Dawn out there. Probably going to make it a little harder to do quite as much as I had been before. 0-1 the count. I was not expecting Ray to come on to pitch this game. I thought he tired himself out too much. Evidently, I was wrong. The real question is who will come on next. And I have no idea who that might be. This has gotten a bit more interesting, just because Lance has figured out how to turn outs against me again. 1-2 is the count on Shane. Hits that one into the ground, no problem. Oh crap. Ooh, I thought Jay was out on that one, honestly. I rushed it, but I thought he was out, but no, just barely makes it. Once again, I nearly get a stupid careless out, but this time... Whew, it wasn't a gamble, it was just thoughtless. A gamble implies you're thinking about the risks and choosing based on that. Dawn gets that one. Oof, Dawn can't throw it well either. Extra bases ahoy. Not now, though. Barry Bonds having it. So yeah, another done move. Fortunately, that one pays off. Heather Quinn making up for her rough game last game. She might be at 600 by the time this game is done. 4-4-4. A homer shy of the cycle, however, it's going to be very difficult for Heather to home run. She got a home run last game, but that was because the center fielder got stuck on the trailer at Tin Can Alley. And you just can't bank on that. And you just can't have that happen here at Playground. I think the only way Heather gets a home run is if we turn another double play or hit a power, and she gets an aluminum power bat to play with. I don't think she's getting it otherwise. Nice opposite field hit there. Earl's actually there to get the ball, but can't throw it in time. Going to be a 2 RBI single for Heather. Going to try to extend it into a double. Mariano with a decent throw, but not decent enough. This A-Rod nerf has just been... This was a likely win for the Melonheads, especially with the way we've been hitting. I think we would have taken this pretty easily. Anyway, but with the A-Rod nerf, that's what's made this into a complete landslide slaughterfest. That's just completely crippled this team's defense. 1-1 is a count on Phil. Going for a line drive, just hoping for a deep drive into center so Heather can advance. Ray is hugging the inside part of the strike zone, though, trying to prevent that from happening. It's 1-2 on Phil. Fouls went off. We are 8 runs away from our total against the Giants in our first game. So there's one milestone to beat. And Heather's not going to make it on that one, unfortunately. Well, maybe... Oh, no, Robbie's coming to get it. Ooh, that's bad. Heather caught between bases now. Good news is Raphael only has to throw it once for her to get back safely. Alright, single for Phil Nevin. Lindsay's up. We're still going to go for the line drive, honestly, not for power. Power's just... I don't like power with Lindsay that much, even though she's decent with it. Depending on the situation, if it's a tight situation and you have, like, the bases loaded, then I might go for it. Here, with the defense as weak as it is, though, I'm not going to risk it. Because power, for me, Lindsay Felgate using power, what I think of with that is just high risk of a pop-up. Pop-up and an easy out, where with line drive she'd be just fine. Lindsay with line drive is perfect for almost any situation, especially at Tin Can. That's another Lindsay Felgate fall down, for those of you who are curious. I'm going to go through all the footage of the season and count just how many times she fell over the course of the season. And beautiful. Base hit there. Beautifully done cutoff throw, except goes through Raphael. Ooh, but they actually... Good play there by... Good play by Earl and Raphael. They successfully executed the cutoff there to get Phil on the fielder's choice. There, though, I thought Heather could make it before Mariana got to the plate. Not sure if she could have if they played right, but Ray goes for the early throws and just throws it off of Mariana's back twice. So, yeah. There's another run. Alright, we have 2 outs. We need 4 more runs to be on pace for 50 before we get that 3rd out. Let's see if we can pull it off. Sheila is a home run short of the cycle. Without any boost on her side, I have a hard time envisioning the scenario where she actually hits the ball hard and far enough to get around the bases, but who knows. Maybe if one goes deep to center. Take strike 1. One and one is a count on Sheila Basanti. Here we go. That one's going to land easily. No, I thought it was going to bounce past Dawn. It does not. And she actually gets it into the infield quickly. Dawn Kozart going into center field definitely was an upgrade for the Giants. It's kind of funny in retrospect that Ray Tran, of all people, was on the... Ooh, Bon's coming back onto the mound. Ray at third now. It's kind of funny that Ray Tran was an outfielder on the junior athletics team that was such a good defense. Such a legendarily good defense last season. But yet, he's actually, like, really bad as an outfielder. Bobby Higginson on to pitch, putting Barry Bonds in left. That's interesting. Dimitri bounces it straight back to Higginson. Higginson drops it, but makes the throw at first for the 3rd out. So, yeah. Still a big inning, 7 runs, but not quite on pace for 50. Giants' defense has gotten better, and I think all this shuffling around has helped them. Still, 32-0. We are about to be in the realm, I think, of either my 3rd or 4th best score ever in BBL. But yeah, I know there was a one game of the World Series last season where Jorge's bank account finally figured out the way to beat the A's and was able to consistently hit those balls to right field where Ray Tran was playing, and that was like the one way to beat the A's. Aside from that one game where there was a huge nerf on the AIAs and their defense was completely wrecked. But yeah, funny, it's such a successful defense, but it somehow had Ray Tran as an outfielder on it, and this game has certainly shown him to be very, very bad at that. Not that this is a junior Rays or mellow math teacher at all, though. To be clear. And Ray strikes out, and that is it for the 4th inning. Going into the 5th, we are 18 runs away from 50. Fabian is leading off, has 2 home runs today. And make that 3 home runs, I think. Yep. Beautiful smack on that first pitch she saw. Fabian is, again, a fun player. Hitting home runs is fun. And Fabian is good at hitting home runs, so yeah. Alright, 17 away from the 50. And we are now, I believe, at my 3rd best score ever. Jay Green is a hitter. Triple away from the cycle. 50 we're right on the knife's edge for right now, honestly. Could get it, could not. Straight to... Ooh! And Jay lines one straight to Rafael for the first out. Wow. That's a 2nd line out for Jay this game. I think I need to stop using line drive with him. Just use power. Shane Smith is a hitter now. Making good use of this boost. But again, straight to A-Rod. This is how you avoid getting a 50. Back-to-back line drive straight to the fielders. Again, no matter how bad a defense is performing, or how badly they're worn down. You know, at some point you are just gonna get that hit straight to a fielder, and you're gonna do it enough times to end the game. So yeah, honestly, now 2 straight outs, not looking like a 50 anymore. Still looking like I'll get my new 2nd highest score ever, probably beating my 38 run mark from before. But by how much is a question, and can I touch my record? I can't remember exactly what it is. I think it's a plus 47, I want to say. We'll see. Yeah, it's a weird case where the Giants' defense has gotten better as this game went on, both in terms of actual performance and the alignment. And boom! That one was too low, I think. Stan strikes out. And just like that, 1 run in the 5th inning. We scored 16 runs in the 2nd, but 9 runs in the last 3 combined. And, folks, it's possible. Could have a huge 6-inning rally, but I don't think a 50 is actually that likely anymore. That was a rough go of it. And now Heather's going to be leading off the next inning, so yeah, that's not a great situation. Robbie Bacco now up. Whenever something like this happens too, when I start doing really well and they get cocky about it and then I start doing not so well, I definitely tend... Oh my goodness, and now Robbie makes it to 2nd on a bad throw. Good grief. Whenever something like this happens though, you know, I definitely take part of the blame because I get cocky. I was definitely cocky after we scored 10 runs before the first out of the 2nd. That was like, yeah, too much, and so I feel like it's always my just due when that happens. This is still a good score. I think there's 0 chances doesn't win. Great game for the Melonheads stats to go up. Oof. And it bips off of the back of Jay's head. We have no play on that ball. Now 2 on with just 1 out. As Fabian gets off the bag. The Giants strike back. Wow. This is messy. Mariana is now the hitter. Oh, and 2, Mariana is swinging at nothing. She's waiting for that outside pitch that we are making sure she does not get. There we go. Ground ball. Oh, no, it's in the gap. It's in the gap. But they get it to first. Heather throws to home to try to avoid the score. Can't make it in time. Giants score a run. No shutout today. I should have gone for the double play. That would have stopped the score from happening. I thought I had better chances, though, getting the double play, going to first then home. And it just didn't work out that way. Earl now up. Does get the pop out, though. So, wow. Giants scored as many runs as the Melonheads in the 5th inning. Yeah, that happened. Going into the 6th inning, then, our last chance to put up as many runs as we can. It is 33-1. Heather Quinn is leading off. Has not turned it out so far this game, and is not going to turn it out this at bat. That bounces past Dawn. Unfortunately, I think if that was Ray out there, Heather could get second base. But with Dawn, unfortunately, not going to happen. Again, swapping Ray onto the mound and Dawn into center field was huge. That might be not the single biggest turning point. I haven't had that many balls to center. But it is a turning point where this turned from a slaughter into less of a slaughter. Can't get nearly as many extra bases with Dawn out there. Giants have managed to reconfigure their defense here to be more effective. So, props to them. They gave up they gave up having Barry Bonds behind the plate, but that hasn't made that much difference. I got in a few stolen bases, but not that many. Stowing a worse fielder behind the plate was worth it. Interesting case study there. Definitely fueling for me a belief that having a super fielder like Ichiro or Barry Bonds or Sammy Sosa behind the plate might not be all it's cracked. Might not be as good as you'd expect. They are more valuable out in the field. Still, Phil gets a single on that one. 2 on, nobody out. And that is one reason why I will never vote for a catcher, probably, for Goldie Glove award. It's the players out there in the field that have the impact. It's more important if they can stop you from getting on base in the first place than if they can stop you from stealing. 2 on, both fairly slow, and this Giants defense proving itself much more capable than it was prior. I kind of have to use power for Lindsay now, and there you go, except that's foul. Womp womp. Thought I got that perfect home run that I was looking for, but nope. That's foul. So, back to line drive swing it is. There is nobody out. 2 runners on. Ball 2, close enough to make me worry. But not close enough to actually be a strikeout looking. If I struck out twice with Lindsay in the same game, that would be really, really sad. Alright, full count on Lindsay. Fouls one off. Still a full count. A walk would be interesting. I mean, it's not an out, so, I'll take it. Definitely doesn't seem like the optimal result, though, for Lindsay. Still nobody out. Sheila Basanti up. It's 5 for 6 today. What we need now is a good line drive into right field. That'll give Heather, I think, the time she needs to score. Phil the time he needs to reach third base. So yeah, if I didn't have Heather on base, I would have swung at that one. But I need it to the right side of the field. Give my slower runners time to reach Isaiah, and then I pop it into left where Barry Bonds is there. Barry Bonds catches it. Double play! This Giants defense was bad enough early in the game to make the outcome of this game clear beyond a doubt, but it has really picked up here lately and really stymied my hopes at my first 50. It'll have to come from a different game, a Tin Can Alley game where all this stuff can't happen, and that was the wrong batting stance there, and that is going to be it for this 50 attempt, folks. Only 33 runs for the Melonheads here. I mean, look at that. 8 and 16 to 1-7-1-0. No matter how bad you think a defense is, you're only a few bad pop-ups and careless plays away from just boom. You're done. And again, Barry Bonds being swapped out for Mariana Ralph at catcher made this defense better, honestly. Crazy how that works, but yeah. So, nope. I can't remember what my third best score is right now. It's a 31 or 32 or 33. This might not even be a top 3 game for me. So, yep. Maybe I can get a 50 against the Devil Rays at home in week 14. I got 27 against them on the road, so we'll see. Alright, 2 outs, 1 away from putting this game to bed at long last. Barry Bonds is up. Take strike 1. And that is the game. Barry Bonds strikes out. And we are done with this one. Final score, Melonheads 33, Giants 1. Certainly a dominant showing from the Melonheads. Should be an easy win, but also definitely a disappointment after we scored 24 runs in the first 2 innings to them. Just do 9 in the last 4. Not the stat padding I wanted, not quite, not the first 50 that I've been looking for, but you never know. Royals laid the smackdown on the Angels in that around the league game. We'll see if that happens in real life. So, yep, stats. Phil only 5 at-bats thanks to the walks we drew. Only 2 walks that game, actually. Struck out 3 times. Only 8 stolen bases, despite Mariano going behind the plate. For early on, there was just too much bad fielding, so I didn't have any bases to steal. And then later on, just started falling apart. So, yep, at least 3 hits for every player. Yeah, Heather Quinn, of all players, Heather and Phil. Heather Quinn, though, is one of 2 players on the team not to record an out, and she only had 1 power-up. Batted in 7 runs. Heather Quinn, honestly, might be the batter of the week for week 12, and she only used 1 power-up. I don't know. We'll see. Lindsay has a good case as well. 2 singles, a triple, a home run, 7 RBIs, 5 runs scored. Yeah, she probably wins batter of the week, but we'll see. 8 home runs that game. Yep. Big game. But yeah, I'm giving the player of the week to Heather Quinn because she came to play and she did all that again with just 1 power-up. I'm here for it. Alright, so that's it for week 12. Week 13. In about a week and a half from now, we are going back home for our last 2 games, taking on our 2 closest division rivals. First, it will be the Twins who beat me in week 5, so I will be looking for revenge there, as well as a continuation of the playoff run. I'll see you then. Until then, thanks for watching.